Hi there! In this lecture, we're going to learn how to create an array. Well, the easiest way to create an array is to do a prefix one. A prefix array is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and keeps counting. This means you cannot change any elements between these numbers. You can't change 3 to 5. You can't change it to 1 or anything else, because this will be generated from the function in this NumPython library. Okay, so how can you do this? It's actually very easy. You just use the function under the NumPython library. It's called arrange. You have seen this before, right? In the first lecture, I used this function to create an array for demonstration purpose. Now you can see the first element, the first parameters. Here is the number that you want to count to. Now I put 10 here. That means I want this function to count from 0 to 10, exclusive. So pay attention, 0 to 10. That's exclusive, means it's not gonna count 10, it's gonna count 9 actually. So let's execute this. And you can see you create an array from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 9. There's no 10, right? You can change it to any number you like. You can do, let's say 99, okay? And it's gonna count to 98. It's not gonna include 99. That's how Python works. And if you have already know other programming languages, this almost all of them works. It doesn't include the last number. Okay, let's try this. So all the way from 0 to 98, exactly like what we want. Arrange can also take another parameter. That means you can give the steps, you know, the steps of counting. Because here, by default, we're counting by a step of 1, right? So every time we just plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. You can actually change this by giving a different parameter. Let's just say from 0 to 10 with a step of 2. So this will give us 0 and 0 plus 2, that is 2, right? Then plus 2 again, that's 4. Let's see. And you get 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. If you change it to 3, it will count by a step of 3. That's it. That's easy, right? But sometimes you don't want to specify the steps. Instead, you want to specify the number of space between these two numbers, and you let the computer automatically calculate the step it takes for you. So how to do this? You use another function called lengthSpace, and we want the same level, so from 0 to 10, and now we want 3 space in between of them. So this will fill the gap between 0 and 10. So you can see it generates 3 numbers to fill up the space evenly, right? So that's 0 to 5 and 5 to 10. If you change this to 4, it's filling with 0 and 3.3333 and 6.6667 and 10, right? Please notice that there's a bit difference, because if you use lengthSpace, it will include 10 as we specified here, whereas in arrange function, if you give 10 here, it will not be included in the resulting array. Okay, so let's basically just include this one as the first number, this one as the last number, and it gives you an array of a total elements of the number you specified. So if you give 4, you get 4 elements. There's even an easier way of doing this, which is just filling the array with zeros or ones. If you want to fill up with zeros, you type zeros. That's right, this is a function. And you just give the dimension of the array in the shape format. The shape format means if you use a 2-dimensional array, this will be 2 rows and 2 columns, right? If you're gonna make a 3-dimension array, so you will have the third parameter, which indicating the third dimension. Let's give it 3. Let's see how it works. So you have 3 dimension. You can see there are 3 parentheses, and you have all elements filled up as zeros. Like I said before, you can also fill up with ones. The function is ones. That's it. And it's the same usage. You put 2 and 2. This time we are creating a 2-dimensional array with 2 rows and 2 columns, and all the elements will be 1. There you go. 1, 1, 1, 1. Everything is 1. That's good. And sometimes you don't want zeros, you don't want ones. You want what? You want an empty one. So an empty array will be simply empty. And again, you give the shape of the array. Let's do something different here. How about 9 times 9? Yes. What you can notice is you don't get zeros for the all elements. Well, because we already have a 0 function, it doesn't make sense to have empty output the same result, right? What you get with empty is some random effects. I mean, when you execute this empty function on your computer, you probably won't get the same result as I did, because the result changes every time. If you use empty, it means you want any random array. You don't have any specific demand for the elements. That's when you use empty. Well, if you want to get more control on the array that you create, you're gonna use a different types of method. You can create it from a Python list or a tuple. Okay, from Python list or a tuple. Let's create a list. Name it from list. This will be the array, and you use the array function here to make a Python list into an array. So then in the list, we will give it what numbers do you suggest? What's your favorite number? My favorite number is 3, and I know some people they love 7 and probably 11 as well. That's good. Then let's print the array, and you can see it's 3, 7, 11, exactly as this Python list. You can also show this with a tuple. It's the same function, and here you give a tuple. Let's do the reverse. Yes, better. Then let's print it. Great. And you can see it's successfully created. If you want to create a multi-dimensional array, you just stack the list of stack the Python list as we seeing here. Let me show you. Well, to create a multi-dimensional array, It's just as simple as creating a nested Python list. Let me show you. Multi-numpy array, it's the same function, okay? And we're going to use a nested Python list to indicate where we're going to create a multi-dimensional array. So let's do a two-dimensional one. So the first one will be 0, 0, and second will be 1, 1. Great. Then let's print it. Now you can see an array of 2 dimensions is actually constructed by one Python list followed by another one. The first one is the first row, the second one is the second row. You can create more rows. See, the third one is the third row, but it's still a 2-dimensional array, right? Because it's only 2-level nested. That's how you create a multi-dimensional array. So that's basically what you need to learn to create an array by yourself. Well, in real life circumstance, most of the times you will be importing the data from Excel or some other file format, but it's always good to learn how to create your array by yourself. So that's it. I will see you guys in the next lecture. Bye.